Three mothers who've lost three babies, representing 9 families who've gone through the same incomparable ordeal. All patients of University Hospital's Sussex NHS Foundation Trust. All, they say, died due to preventable mistakes in care.
I went from trying for 7 years and finally getting pregnant with Esme and thinking we'd made it, being the happiest I've ever been, feeling so complete, to having my entire world ripped from me. I am a shell, really, of a person that I once was. Every single midwife or doctor I spoke to all treated me as if I didn't matter, and they didn't believe me was the biggest thing. They didn't believe me. I've heard from someone who lost a baby in the last 2 weeks who, once she explained her story to me, it was very similar to mine.
Chloe's daughter Esme died at birth, her heart not beating. Robin's son Orlando starved of oxygen at birth, dying 2 weeks later. Katie's daughter Abigail, again starved of oxygen, died after 2 days.
I had a low-risk pregnancy, no problems throughout my pregnancy. I went into labour exactly on my due date. While I was at home, I experienced some bleeding. So we phoned the maternity assessment unit at the Royal Sussex, who said we should stay at home. I then became really ill. I became really faint and clammy and sick. And my husband phoned them again and they said I was probably having a panic attack. So they said I could come in, but there was no rush. And then by the time I got to the hospital, I was in cardiac arrest. So Abigail was born in the reception area at the Royal Sussex. I had to be resuscitated, she had to be resuscitated. I was in an induced coma for 2 days, and then I was woken up to meet her on the day that she died. But I went from being the happiest I'd ever been to be pregnant. I loved being pregnant, to the absolute devastation of losing my daughter completely unexpectedly. It's changed who I am as a person. It's changed everything about my life. And what has surprised me is I feel that the Trust have managed to somehow make what is already a horrendous situation worse. And it's really distressing to know that there are so many other families in similar situations, and that really concerns me.
Maternity services where Esme and Orlando were born in Worthing currently rated as requires improvement. The Royal Sussex in Brighton, where Abigail was born, rated inadequate. These mothers now calling for a public inquiry. In a statement, the Trust told us we offer our deepest condolences and sincere apologies to each of the bereaved families for their devastating loss. While we recognise that no words can ease their pain, our dedicated team are committed to listening, learning and improving the service so that mothers-to-be and their babies are as safe as they possibly can be whilst in our care.
This keeps happening, and therefore we do believe that it is more of a systemic issue. And yeah, we just want the whole care evaluated really, and the learning outcomes to be put into place to make sure that this does not happen to any other family, because we're quite literally all living through hell. Emotionally, it's been hideous. It affects our life to this day, 2.5 years on, and it will affect our lives for the rest of our lives. A public inquiry into maternity services is definitely needed to review all hospitals, because sadly this is happening everywhere.
These 3 women now inviting any more mothers who've similarly suffered to come forward as they take their fight for answers as far as possible in the hope that lives can be saved. Andy Dickinson, ITV News, Steyning.